Hi, this is Emily Bowen-Moore. This is Journalism 273 in the Meek School of Journalism and New Media at the University of Mississippi. In this particular video tutorial, we are going to go over packaging an InDesign document. And the reason you want to package a document when you're sending it to someone or a printer or another designer, etc., you want to be able to provide them with all of the components that you used in your document. For instance, if you send it to a printer, they may not have those typefaces on their computer when they open your document, so they want, because it is packaged, it's accessible, and it provides a lot of more efficiency, and it just makes it a lot easier when you're trying to print something, especially going to press. So in this case, we're working with the resume, and this will be the same process for any other document that you work on and submit. So I have a resume design here. We're pretty much done with it. I used one typeface, but it had several font styles to it. And what you will do to package it, it's an actual command in InDesign. It's nothing manual that you have to do. So I'm going to go up to the menu at the very top, and you may not be able to see it in the video, but you'll go to File, and then you'll go down to Package, very bottom. And the first window that comes up will be just a summary of the document, and it'll tell you your fonts, links, color, process, all of those things. In this case, it says 5 fonts used, but I actually used one typeface, but it used 5 different styles of that font. So I'm going to package this, click package, and then the next screen that comes up is an actual, you don't have to fill out in its entirety, but you want to put file name. And every time you punch in a file name, you want it to be consistent and as instructed based on the assignment. So in this case, I put my last name and then underscore and resume, since it's the resume. So I'm going to click continue. And this screen is basically asking me, where do you want us to put this folder once it's packaged? And so I usually put it on my desktop because it's easy to navigate and find. And what I'm going to do, it'll automatically keep the same name you just punched in previously, but it'll add folder at the end. And I'm just going to do away with the 2017 there for just a moment. And I'm going to click package. And if you look here, you want to make sure these things are checked. You want to include the IDML, which is a version that is compatible with older versions of Adobe. And you want to include your print. Now this is a print PDF, and in most cases that's what you want. We are actually going to create an interactive PDF as well. So we will go back and add that to your packaged folder. So I'm going to click package here, and it's always going to give you a warning screen letting you know that if you used any typefaces that had any licensure agreements, to make sure that you're not infringing on any copyright or anything like that. So if you're not, just click OK, and it will put it on your desktop. I'm going to kind of, here it is right here. So if I open this, it's got everything packaged for me. If you look here, it's got the very bottom here, it's got a text version, and it's literally everything coded that's in my document. I have a folder here, which is what you want to make sure is in here. If I open that, it's got the typeface that I used, the Avenir, that's the typeface I used in its file. This is the IDML version. This is the version that will be compatible to older versions of InDesign. Here's my current InDesign file with the extension INDD. That means that's the CC version. And then you have the print PDF here, and that's what you will print when you go to print for any assignment or print your hard copy here. Now if you go to a printing company to print your official resume and you have a bleed like I do here, I have bled this line on each side. then you would show them all of the bleed marks. So we have just a view, so I would go back and export this as a new PDF. And when it brings up the screen, I would go to Marks and Bleed and show my bleed marks and crop marks. And this will allow them to know where to cut my resume down when it's printed. So I'm going to show you that real quick. So I've just replaced the print PDF here. And if you look, when I open it now, it shows my bleed margins here. This is where the lines are bleeding to. And this is where they would actually crop that inside little margin. And so this allows them to see that better so that the lines aren't off or you have a flush edge. Okay, so for printing, that's ideal. Okay, now for printing for the assignment, you don't have to show the bleed marks or the crop marks. And you will have a little border around the page because normal printers grab the paper and you will naturally have a little white border, and that's okay for the assignment. But for printing your official resume, that might be something you would do for the printer. Okay, so I have also created some hyperlinks here at the bottom, and I'll also want a digital version of my resume. So I'm also going to export another version, and I'm going to actually add web at the end because that way I know which one's for print and which one is for online or for sending on the web. And so you have two types of PDFs here. You have a print PDF and you have a PDF that's interactive. So the interactive PDF is going to allow my links to be active. So I need to change that for the web version. So I'm going to choose interactive PDF and it's going into my packaged folder. So I'm going to keep that the same. And I'm going to just click export. We've got everything where we want it. And it will usually automatically pull it up so that you can test your links. And in this case, I've got them here at the bottom. If I click on one of my links, it automatically goes to my website, so it's working. So we've got everything ready to submit. And if I go back to my folder here, now it's got both of my PDF versions here. Okay, so we've got everything packaged. Now we're ready to submit the project into Box. So if I were submitting this into the assignment folder, I would have to compress it first. Now it's too big. Any InDesign file or package folder is going to be too big to submit on its own. So what I would like for you to do is compress it and upload your compressed version. So we're just going to turn this into a zip file, which is an easy way to compress a file on an Apple or Mac. So I'm just going to right click on the folder itself and I'm just going to go down to here and just go to compress. And it's going to pull up a zip file here. This is the file that I will drag into Box. So if I pull up Box here, I've got it already chosen. And for the WordMart resume project, each section has its own submission folder. So when you get ready to submit, if you were section 10, for instance, you could just click and drag your zip file and drag it into that folder. All right, so that is submitted. So your work will look like this when it's submitted. It'll look like it'll say zip on the end, and it will have a little white sheet of paper. It looks like a zipper going on it. Okay, so everything would be packaged. You won't be able to preview this, and I will have to download it to view it, which is perfectly okay. But that's how you submit it after it is finalized and finished. And all projects will be submitted this way with regards to InDesign files. You might have other specifications when using Photoshop and Illustrator, but for InDesign, this is how you would normally submit your work. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in class or email me. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and good luck.